Hi guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. Juby. Okay, so today I'll be telling you guys how my birthing experience was. How I gave birth, the whole thing, while I tried to put this little man to sleep. Okay, so it was on the 14th of June. Um, I woke up in the morning, I think around 7, because we actually had some errands to run with my mother, right? So we wanted to go to the mall, do a few things, yes. When I went to the bathroom and I checked myself, I just noticed that my mucus plug had actually started coming out, right? Mind you, um, the entire time I wasn't feeling any labor pains, nothing. Like the only thing that I was feeling, it was just cramps, light cramps, like period like cramps. You see, okay. And that time I was 39 weeks and 6 days, I think. Yeah, I was around 39 weeks. Okay, fine. I see that the mucus plug had started coming out. And then um, after that, I just had a pee, right? And I peed. After, there was like a little leak, you know, water-ish leak, but it wasn't like water, but it was just like a leak. One would actually think that it's maybe like leftover pee or something, so that's what I also assumed, that okay, this is probably just leftover pee because it's just a little bit. Okay, and then after, I just put on a pad, and I was like, oh, okay. I remember I was searching on Google, and it was like if you're a first time mom, or it's your first time actually of having a baby, your mucus plug can start coming out, but you might not give birth in like 24 hours, 48 hours, or even a week. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna chill, I'm gonna relax, because it might not even happen today. Okay, prepared. We went out with my mom. We did our thing. I think we left around 8 or 9. We did our things at the mall. Now, I think around 10-ish, we were still at the mall. I started feeling cramps, but I feel like they were getting a little bit more painful compared to what I've been experiencing the past week, right? So they just kept on, getting a little bit more painful. Okay, fine, but I could still do things. It's like period pains that I'm used to, just a little bit more, okay? Not much. We continued our thing, and then we finished and came back home around 12 noon. Yeah, I think it was around 12 noon, close to 1. And on our way back in the car, I was still feeling cramps, and I feel like they were happening a little bit more consistent, not as consistent, but a little bit more consistent, maybe every 10 minutes or so, right? But for me, I was like, okay, I'm still relaxed, in my mind. I didn't really have it that, oh, I'm gonna give birth on that day. You see, I was still chilled. Also, considering that I had tried a lot of things to induce labor, I was so tired. I had literally tried pineapples, I tried eating dates, I tried exercising, literally racing with my little brothers in the streets. I went as far as drinking castor oil. Ooh, which messed me up. It didn't. I don't know if it helped or not, but I don't think it helped, because the only thing it did, it made me vomit and also gave me a running tummy. No, it gave me a running tummy. Okay. Anyways, so we got home, right? And I was still feeling these cramps. They are more consistent now. It's around 12 noon. Okay. And then, yeah, we just made lunch. We ate while I was still feeling these cramps, right? I think around, I can say from 1 2 ish, they were progressing really fast, the contractions, because they were getting even more consistent, up to a point where I was like, you know what, let me actually download a contraction timer and start timing them and see what that app is going to say, right? Because I tried to understand the whole 511 rule that they have about going to the hospital, but I didn't really get it. So I was like, you know what, download a contraction timer that's going to tell you when it's time to go to the hospital. Okay, then I download the timer, sit in my room, just listen to these contractions. I felt like, yeah, they were getting a little bit more sharper, but they were still bearable. Like, it had not reached a painful point as people would describe them. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for this pain that's going to be so bad. That's when I will start going to the hospital. Because another thing is, I gave birth in a public hospital, so I know that in a public hospital, if you go too early, they actually send you back. You know, if you're still maybe 1 centimeter dilated, 2 centimeter dilated, they send you back, and then they tell you that you must come back a little bit later, right? So I wanted to avoid that. I didn't want to be sent back. I wanted to go there when I am feeling the most excruciating pain that I have ever experienced, right? According to people's description. So that was my plan. Okay, anyway, I download the contraction timer. I start timing the contractions. At that time, I think they were probably like not as consistent, but sometimes 5 minutes apart, sometimes 3 minutes apart, sometimes, you know, they were all over the place. But when I placed that timer the first time, okay, it timed, and then it didn't say I should go to the hospital or anything. Okay, then I waited for like another 30 minutes or so, because the way that I was feeling, you know, I felt like, no, they are actually getting, you know, more and more, right? And the pain keeps on changing. I feel like it keeps on progressing as time goes on. It still it gets more and more sharper, more and more painful, right? Then I timed again, and then that time now it said it's time to go to the hospital. You see, then I was like, okay, I think it was not yet 3 yet, but it was getting close to. Then I was like, no man, let me just wait a little bit longer, because I can still bear the pain. Like, I could still move around in the house, I could still do things, I could still speak to people, I was still, yeah, very much fine, you know. So I was like, yeah, if I go there and I'm still like this, you know, I'm not all bent with my waist and this, they won't take me serious. They will think maybe, no man, this one is joking or she's playing or something. So I was like, okay, let's wait a little bit longer. However, when I think I didn't wait that long, because when I went to the bathroom, I started feeling a pain, not a pain, man, like it was like some type of a heartbeat feeling right at the bottom of my belly, right? I could feel this heartbeat thing, like, so in my head I was like, what if this is actually the baby's heartbeat, you know? I wasn't too sure of what that is, because I had never felt it before in my entire pregnancy. It was my first time. So I was like, nope, what if this is the baby's heartbeat or something? I can't just sit now and just wait without even knowing what this is. That's when I told my mother that you know what, I think we should go to the hospital just to make sure that everything is okay. Yeah, okay. Then my mother was like, you know what, just take your hospital bags just in case they decide to keep you. But in my head I'm like, I know they will send me back, because I feel like I'm not yet at that stage of giving birth. Okay, take my bags, get into the car, we go. Right, we got to the hospital. I think it was past 3 to 4, somewhere there. Can't really remember the time frames properly, but it was around those times. So we get to the hospital. Okay, fine. That nurse, the sister speaks to me. Hi, how are you? I'm like, no, I'm still good. She's like, you still good? I'm like, yeah, I'm still good. Then she's like, so what are you doing here? So I explained the situation. I'm like, oh, I'm feeling this heartbeat thingy at the bottom of my belly, and also when I started timing my contractions, it said I should come to the hospital, and I feel like they are more consistent, they're just not as painful. Okay, then it's just like, okay, we're just gonna check your pee, and then we're gonna check how dilated you are, and we'll take it from there. Okay, they check my pee. I don't know what they check the pee for. I don't know if it's pH levels or what, I don't know. I didn't even ask. And then they checked my dilation, and she's like, you are 1 centimeter dilated. Yeah, 1 centimeter dilated. I'm like, okay. But then she was like, the problem is I cannot feel your membrane, right? The thingy that covers the baby and the water and everything. Yes, she's like, I cannot feel the membrane, and that could be like, that could actually be telling us that your water broke. And she asks me, did your water break? I'm like, I do not know, right? I explained that, okay, after I peed in the morning there was a little leak, but it was like a few drops, man, it wasn't water. And then after that I just wore a sanitary pad. And then she was like, yeah, so I cannot send you home because we are not too sure if your water broke or not, and it could be that the membrane is there, it's just that the child's head is too tight on it, such that when she puts in her finger she cannot feel it. So she's like, okay, we're gonna keep you here for the next 4 hours, and then we will check you after that, right, and see what's going on. Okay, my mother goes back home, and then they, oh yeah, then they put me in the Smolangana room. It's quite decent for a public hospital, I would actually comment. It's very decent for a public hospital. Then I stay there, and there was a bouncing ball as well. Got into that room, I sit in the bouncing ball, and I just started bouncing on that ball because I was like, yeah, 4 hours is going to be a long time after sitting and doing nothing, right? Sit there, and I'm busy on my phone, TikTok, just speaking to my partner, speaking to my parents, and all that. I continue bouncing on that ball, but now I feel like the pain is actually progressing. Now it's getting, you know, yeah. It was painful. Okay, let me say at that time, it was, I can give it a rating maybe of like 5 to 6 out of 10. Yes, it was getting painful, but I could still like manage it. I could still be on the phone, actually speak to people on the phone. I could still move around nicely to go into the bathroom, to go and fetch myself some water and all that. So I could really still manage it well, but it was getting painful. It was getting painful, definitely, right? Okay, and then they were supposed to come and say check me at 7, but they didn't come. And then they came at 9. But now at 9, at that time, the pain was actually, yeah, ne? Because every time that pain comes, oh, and yes, my contractions had actually become even more consistent, because now they were like 1 minute in, 1 minute out, 1 minute in, 1 minute out, and for that, okay, I would take that 1 minute of no pain to breathe, and yeah, enjoy it a bit. And then when that 1 minute comes, that 1 minute of pain, I would just sit on that bouncing ball tight and hold on to the metals of the hospital bed. It was getting bad. It was definitely getting bad. Like, I feel like with time, the pain of the contractions actually progresses, and it's like someone is how they turn on the volume on a radio. Yes, it's like somebody keeps on turning on the volume, but they're turning it at a very, very, very slow rate. That's what was happening. Because from the moment I got to the hospital to around 9, the pain had changed. It had definitely changed. It was getting into, yeah. But then, when you listen to people and people tell you these things about labor, you are expecting worse, and you just keep expecting worse. You're like, okay, I am feeling pain here, I am going through it, but I know it's gonna get worse. So that was me. I kept on telling myself that, okay, yeah, you just need to breathe through it, because it's gonna get worse. Okay, at 9 they came and they checked me. I'm still on that bouncing ball, just breathing through it. I think what helps me a lot, actually, and what makes me look like I wasn't feeling, I can say, a lot of pain, is that I was very much big on Google. So I was searching for the coping mechanisms, what can I do, and it just kept on telling you, you have to try to relax as much as possible. I don't know which hormones get what when you actually get into panic mode, but relaxing and trying to contain that pain actually helped me a lot. Right, so I tried by all means that when I get that 1 minute break, I would breathe through it, give myself that, and then when it comes, I just sit on that bouncing ball and hold on to the metal, feel the pain, let it pass, and then get my break again. So if you are pregnant, please, Google must be your friend. Google everything, like literally everything: how to cope with pain, how to relax through the contractions, what to do, what, right? Okay, so they came at 9, and then they, oh yes, mind you, the entire time, right, when you get to the hospital, they change you most from your outfits, and they put you the hospital gown, and then they also give you the maternity pads to wear. So I was wearing that maternity pad, and every time I go to the bathroom, I would check, okay, what's going on there, and it was only the mucus blood coming out. So apparently they were telling me, no, there must be some blood, that will actually indicate that you're close to labor. What a discouragement, hey? But I was like, okay, it's fine, we got this, we'll get there at some point. So they came at 9, they checked me, and then she's like, yeah, you are 3 centimeters dilated, so which means I went from 1 centimeter to 3 centimeter dilation in 6 to 7 hours. That's very slow. And then they're like, okay, yeah, given that you are a first time mom and you took so much time to dilate from 1 to 3 centimeters, we are suspecting that you might give birth in the morning, maybe like around 6 7 a.m. And also we still can't feel your membrane, so you are not going home, you are spending the night. Okay, fine. And then I called my mother and my partner, and then I let them know, and I was like, okay, no guys, I'm actually gonna sleep over so you guys can actually relax, you can come in the morning. Oh, also the sister was like, if it happens that you do not give birth in the morning, then we are going to transfer you to a bigger hospital. So the one that I was at does not offer C-section, so they wanted to send me to another one that offers C-section if ever it happens that I do not give birth in the morning. Okay, fine. See. Right. Okay, they, after that they left. But now the pain, yeah, the pain. Like, even when they were checking me, hey, I had to ask them in between, okay, please stop, because the contraction would come and I would have to just get a moment of silence or something. I don't know whether it's silence or just a moment of no movement, and shame, they were very, very nice. I do not want to lie. They were very, very patient with me, so they would actually wait for that contraction to end, and then they would and then they will continue with what they were doing, right? Another contraction would come and I would ask, okay, please wait. At some point, I do remember I started crying while they were busy with me. When they're checking for dilation, they insert you, hey, it's a lot going on there. They insert fingers inside your V. Like, yeah, it's painful while you're having contractions, Okay, fine. They left after that, and then I call. Oh yes, when they were checking me, I was on the bed, and then when they were done, I went off the bed again because I felt like it was more comfortable being on the bouncing ball than just laying there on the bed and waiting for pain to come. Hello, hi, and just waiting for pain to come. So for me, the bouncing ball was definitely much more better. Okay, the pains continued, and they just kept on getting more painful. Definitely. And they were 1 minute in, 1 minute out. At some point, sometimes it's like 2 contractions, one after the other, before you actually get a breathing space. I don't know how to describe that pain. It's like somebody trying, it's like somebody trying to cut through, I don't know, cut through your skin or something. But it's very painful actually. When it starts getting painful, it is painful. It's like, when someone is trying to force their head into something small, it feels exactly like that. Like how you imagine it, it feels exactly like that. That's how the feeling is. Okay, anyway, around. Oh, and another thing, I feel like the pain got worse after they checked me, because I was a bit disappointed in terms of being just 3 centimeters dilated, which means I'm going to go through this pain the entire night. Okay. I think around like 10ish, I started feeling a bit dizzy. I don't know whether I was starting to stress or something, but I started getting dizzy, and then I got up. I went to the sister and I asked if they could maybe give me a drip. I asked if they could maybe give me a drip, and then she was like, no, we cannot give you a drip now, it's a little bit too early, we'll give it to you maybe after midnight. And then she was like, oh, maybe you can just stop bouncing on the ball because you're draining your energy, and go and lay on the bed. And also another thing with me is that I couldn't take in anything from the moment I got to the hospital. I just couldn't take in any food. If I tried to eat, I immediately felt nauseous and I just stopped. The only thing I was doing was drinking a lot of water. I kept on drinking a lot of water and bouncing on the ball. That was me the entire time. Okay, so she told me, no, stop bouncing on the ball, just try to get on the bed and lay on the bed. How do you lay on the bed with so much pain? Anyways, I go and I lay on the bed. So I remember I was laying, not fully back down, but I was I supported my back with the windowsill, right, the wall of the hospital room. Okay, and then I think it was, oh yes, I remember at some point the contractions got so bad, I didn't want anything on me. Like I just felt like my underwear and that pad was just, it was irritating me. I wanted it off, and I took it off. I took it off. I threw it on the floor. When I took it off, I noticed that, oh, there's now some blood. There was some blood and some, yes, it was messy. So I just threw it on the floor. I was like, okay, now there's actually a little bit of hope, because they did say that, okay, we want to start seeing a little bit of blood. That would indicate to us that you are in active labor, you see. Okay, and at time, minutes go on actually, because from that moment everything happened so quickly. Like I also still cannot believe how things happened so fast, because I had lost hope. I had just told myself, you know what, you're gonna give birth in the morning. Okay, so as I was laying there and supporting myself with the windowsill, the contractions come now, but they come with the urge to push. So at first I'm like, you know what, just ignore the feeling, because they told you you're only 3 centimeters dilated, and I know that pushing while you are not fully dilated is dangerous for the baby. So I tried to hold myself, but at the same time I had searched on Google, and Google was like, you have to listen to your body. When it's time, your body will tell you. When it's time to push, your body will tell you. So I'm like, okay, which is which now? But okay, when the contraction it comes with the urge to poof. I try to hold it, but it got to a point where I just couldn't. I felt like holding it made it even more painful. So when another contraction came, I pushed and screamed. So the sisters were like, it was like 3 room where the pregnant lady sits, 3 rooms next to each other, and then on the other side it's like a wall type of area. That's where the sisters stay. But if anything is happening on our side, they actually hear it, right? So they hear me screaming and they come running. So I was helped by 2 sisters and 3 students, 1 male student. At first it was uncomfortable with the male being there, but honestly, with how the pain just keeps getting, you end up not even caring who's where and who's looking down there, who's doing what. Like, you just don't care. You just want things to get done. Okay, so they come running, and when they get there, they shout at me, hey? They shout at me like, no, what are you doing? Why are you pushing? I told you you're only 3 centimeters dilated. You are going to hurt that baby. And if anything happens to that baby, we are the ones that are going to have to explain, So stop pushing. Do not push. While they're busy talking, another contraction that just comes, and another urge to push comes, and I pushed. And that actually brought my baby's head close, like by the entrance or exit. Yes. So she's like, what are you doing? And she opens the blanket, because I took off the underwear, and then I covered myself with the blanket halfway, because I was like completely naked. So she's like, let me open this blanket and see what's happening here. That one wasn't like, there was one elderly sister, So she opens up the blanket and she sees that, oh my goodness, I'm actually in active labor. The head is like literally there. Now everyone is panicking because they didn't prepare for that. They didn't prepare for labor. They didn't prepare. They weren't prepared. The room was not prepared. They were not prepared. They were not fully geared for that. Now everyone is running around, gloves, everything. But